Hi, this is Sydney Fromm, and this is my lesson plan video for the teaching videos for Ed Psych. I will be teaching the heroic cycle to Casey Fromm. I am teaching Casey Fromm, my younger sister, who is 16 years old and a sophomore at Wenatchee High School. She is in Honors English and has been since her freshman year. She is currently in Stage 5 of Erik Erikson's psychological development, which is identity versus confusion. This stage is when she is trying to build her own sense of independence and sense of self. She is at Stage 3 of Lawrence Kohlberg's Stages of Moral Development. She is focused on how society perceives her and how her peers perceive her, and thus bases her choices off of that. However, she is entering the 4th stage, which is where she is following laws because it is important in maintaining a working society. She is also in the formal operational stage of cognitive development according to Piaget. Thus, she can form hypotheses and think critically. Casey is very intelligent, but has a hard time staying on task. I will have to be careful with my off-task time with her. Here I illustrate the stages that Casey is currently at. Identity versus role confusion, and Stage 3, which is recognizing good and bad intentions. I have also included characteristics of the formal operational thought. I am teaching Casey the heroic cycle because she already has some previous knowledge, and I would like to expand that knowledge, which I will do by scaffolding on her previous knowledge. She has also expressed interest in taking a mythology class in her senior year. She enjoys adventure stories where the heroic cycle is often used. And as the heroic cycle encourages readers to grow and do good, it will help teach Casey to move on from Stage 5, identity and confusion, and into Stage 6 and further on. It also teaches one how to analyze a story, which is a skill Casey will be using throughout high school and college. To start out our lesson, Casey and I will be in our home. Casey should have no state anxiety, seeing that she has some background knowledge of the heroic cycle, as well as being in a familiar place. Casey already has a schema attached to the film Hercules, which is what we will be viewing. My goal is to add some disequilibrium to further that schema. Before we view the film, we will discuss Casey's previous knowledge. I will correct and explain any uncertainties that she has on the material. We will then watch Hercules. As we do so, Casey will be required to observe which events in the film fit the heroic cycle. After the film is over, Casey will fill out a worksheet placing these events at the proper stage in the heroic cycle. This should allow her to analyze the knowledge that she has gained, as well as evaluating the heroic cycle. We will then read a short story, and Casey will identify the cycle in that piece of work. Afterwards, Casey will write her own story depicting her new knowledge of the heroic cycle. The first half of this lesson, Casey should be in a comfortable place with her ZPD. However, as the lesson progresses and the material grows harder, I will need to make sure that she stays in that ZPD zone and doesn't roam into anxiety. Based on her personal fable of being able to do nearly everything no matter the risks, this material will help her see that there are consequences to our actions. With Casey creating her own story, this falls into using all the levels of Bloom's taxonomy. I look forward to teaching Casey and sharing my love of mythology with her.